There is Dill Sanders, 4.99. It says, I think that Keke Palmer's situation with Usher was just as bad. Ironically, it seems like some women want men to be Adam 22
Dude,
minus
foul.
the testosterone.
100% the Keke Palmer thing. I would have left my girl too. 100%.
What happened?
What was that?
She was it, what's his face was dancing all over her.
Usher?
Usher was like grinding all over her.
No, what?
What are you talking about? Yeah.
No, he wasn't.
What is he doing?
He went like she did the spin around.
I'm thinking of a different one. There was one where a girl was engaged. I apologize. And there was a thing where she she sat on his lap and started dancing for him and grinding on him right before she got married, and it was to
Who
Usher.
was that?
I forgot who it was, but and then he dumped her right afterwards, and that 100% I agree with. There's just no way. Like, ladies, I'm going to say this, and several of you are going to disagree with me. If you got cheated on by your husband, how hard would it be for you to find another dude? It wouldn't be. It'd be very easy, Jody. Right? How about you? Same thing. Take 2 seconds. I don't know. Ashley, how about you?
I mean, yeah, we're women, so it's easy.
You find one in 2 seconds.
Most guys don't want me to
I mean, quality might not be, but
here we go.
we'll find a man.
A guy and a girl are dating in a vacuum, and all of a sudden she cheats on him. Do you have any questions about what happened there? Do you think for a second what's going on? Is he maybe not good in bed? Is he maybe insecure? Do you understand what I'm saying? When women cheat on men, it is so much worse for men than when men cheat on women. When men cheat on women, you don't lose any value. When women cheat on men, we are getting dunked on. I fucked your bitch in some Gucci flip-flops. That is where that comes from. I'm sorry. You can argue with me all you want, and I know some people will be like, well, emotionally, it's the same thing. I agree with you. Emotionally, it's the same thing. I'm saying, going further from a sexual market value standpoint, when men get cheated on, everyone's asking questions. When women get cheated on, everyone's asking what her fucking number is, so we can DM her.
It's why a lot of women that are not bisexual can also have sex with their man with another woman, because they know that the woman, his woman, is the queen, and that girl is like the vibrator that's in the thing. So that's why it's easier.
No, you know those Lambos you rent when those $30,000 millionaires rent it when you go to Miami. You know those Lambos everybody rents in Miami, and everyone, like every girl who's local in Miami knows that they're rented and the guy's poor. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? So those Lambos are like the girl who comes in for the threesome. It's like your beautiful car. We don't dislike the car, but at the end of the day, we're going to take you back to the dealership. That's fine.
Exactly.
We're not trying to disrespect. Incredible car, 400 horsepour car.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
You're not going to spill anything in it.
We're not going to spill anything in the car.
Who says that the man loses value?
Can I
answer
that?
Go ahead. No, because I'm seeing it in a yes. If you're a celebrity and everyone finds out you got cheated on, if everyone finds out you got cheated on and you're a celebrity, you're in the public eye. That makes sense. That maybe people might see you as like, what an idiot. But just normal people.
No, let's say you know the groups of guys who go out to the lake every weekend and go wakeboarding. You know the groups of people that go do it. You know what I'm talking about? There's a bunch of guys from the Wim that do it. You know what I'm talking about.
Do you go outside? Do you do things in the sunshine?
Just think of that
Trap question.
Think of that like the industry clique here, right? In that industry clique, everyone knows everyone's business. All the former waitresses at Wet Republic, all the fucking guys at the Win, they're all kind of in this clique. They all go to the same parties. If one of the dudes gets cheated on, everyone talks.
Right, and that is exactly the same thing. That's what I'm saying. That guy that works at the Win that takes girls infamously out every weekend on his boat is famous in town. That's what he's known for. I'm talking about regular Joe Schmoes, Denise that lives in Idaho, and
so let's talk to Joe Schmo over here.
Let's talk to the expert.
Go ahead.
A long time ago, I was just a regular Joe Schmo. Okay, and the truth is, I was married to my first wife for 19 years. She was 20, she was 19, I was 21 when we got married. Too young. Okay, the marriage wasn't working for a long time. 7 years of begging for sex and not getting it.
Jeez.
Okay. Finally, I moved, and during that 7 years, people were giving me hints. Okay, and I would come to her defense because I totally loved her, totally trusted her. Okay. I moved out, couldn't take it anymore. I was at the gym with some friends of mine, and after working out, we're sitting in the juice bar, and there happened to be a beautiful woman sitting by herself. And I said to my friends, does anybody know her? She's gorgeous. And they looked at me and they said, why? Don't you know who that is? I said, no, who is she? And they said, well, that's the wife of the guy that your wife's been sleeping with for the last year.
Jesus.
Really? And that's how I found out.
Wow.
From my friends. Okay?
Who didn't say shit.
I want you to know, for the next 3 months, they put somebody in my office on suicide watch for me because I would sit at my desk, successful as I was, and break down and cry. Okay? I thought I was totally unlovable.
How old were you?
Listen to this man, please.
How old were you at this point?
I was 40.
Okay.
Okay? I didn't think I could ever date again. You know, it was the worst experience of my life. Okay? So being cheated on like that was terrible. I wouldn't tell my kids. Nothing. All right? She brought the boyfriend in and told my kids.
Jesus Christ.
And then a few weeks later, he broke up with her.
Oh, then he broke up with her later?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I have a great relationship with my kids because I never said anything bad about their mother.
Of course.
Okay? But the bottom line is I know how it feels. And so I talk to girls all the time that guys cheat on them. And, you know, and I commiserate with them because I know how it feels. But from a guy's standpoint, it took me a long time to get into any kind of a relationship. And, you know,
I agree with you, Michael. The man doesn't have to be famous because I've met guys before, and like I met a guy specifically who I'm thinking about. If you're watching,
was he the homeless one?
No, he wasn't the homeless one. Damn near.
I'm supposed to ask you about that. I was trying to get that segue in there.
Damn near homeless.
Okay.
But he told me that he got cheated on by both his exes. And that turned me off. Because I'm like, if someone is cheating on you, something is wrong with it.
Let's just ask you. Katrina, a guy says he got cheated on by both of his exes. Do you imagine he's good in bed? Be honest. Do you imagine he's good in bed?
I like how you give this to Katrina.
I don't know.
I would think, you're just not telling the truth.
I mean, I would think something is wrong,
Thank
but
you.
I don't know if it's his dick size or that
Jody,
he can't get it
the
out.
last two people cheated on him. Would you imagine there was something wrong with him?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. That's my point. And if you guys got cheated on, we wouldn't give 2/10 of a shit. We wouldn't care at all.
It's okay, baby. It's all
That's
right.
because
We
men
got you.
cheat. That's because men cheat all the time. Women never cheat.
Yeah, but after being cheated on twice, you know, if he's
you're just being funny.
if he's like me,
I disagree.
if he got cheated on twice, if he's anything like me, you make your point to be really good in bed.
Yeah,
Okay?
exactly. You learn
And
something.
You
learn
learn
real
something
quick.
very quickly.
Well, you know, I'll tell you that your story is very similar and sort of dovetails into this very well to Anthony Bourdain. And when Anthony Bourdain committed self-deletion,
took his own life.
Took his own life.
Oh, I'm sorry I said that.
Back in now, people were coming to me, and I was with doing the shows with Pat Campbell back then, and they would say he had everything. He had a TV show.
He got
had a
paid
shit ton
money,
of money
to eat food with interesting people.
Yes.
And took his own life
Yes.
in a fucking $15,000 suite in Paris,
Right.
France. He hung himself, and then anyone would want. He could go on anyone's podcast. Everyone loved Anthony Bourdain, and he took his own life, bro.
Yeah.
I'm going to explain something because I know you're going to get to
I
this
know,
too.
I'm gonna go.
You
Yeah.
guys ready? If a man is over the age of 40 and his wife leaves him, what is the likelihood? How much more likely is he to kill himself than the general population?
Right.
Yeah.
Self-delete.
He is 9 times. He is 9 times more likely to take his own life. 9 times more likely to take his own life after that. So that's the point we're trying to make. You can keep saying it's the same, but it's not the same. It isn't. So that's
But don't
the
they
reason.
say about the
Also-
self-deletion that women do it like they don't go through the whole thing?
Yes, so
they just do it more
women,
for like
women and men attempt the same,
Yeah.
but because men choose ropes and balconies and pistols,
complete.
they complete
And-
it more.
yeah.
Women
Men-
choose sleeping pills.
Men
and-
off themselves at anywhere between 3.5 to 5 times the rate that women do. So that's that is a statistical solid fact. So,
But they say women are unstable. That's nuts to me.
well, here's the thing.
But
is
women can recover.
I was gonna say, women recover quicker because what happened to you and what happened to Anthony Bourdain is he was zeroed out. Now people say, well, what's that mean? It's usually when the guy loses his job, loses his wife, loses his dog, loses whatever. It's a country song, right? He loses all this stuff, right? And he has to start over again.
Yeah,
The older a guy gets, the more difficult it is to say, I got how many more years in my life to keep going? I got to rebuild myself. I got to remake myself. All the shit that I thought was so important up to the time I was 40 or however old, I have 2 choices. I can either delete myself or I can remake myself. And sadly, most guys don't have the creativity, the patience, the determination, or whatever to deal with their discontent creatively. And so what do? They delete themselves. That's exactly what happened to Anthony Bourdain. And what precipitated that? It was his girlfriend, Asia Argento, gallivanting around Italy with her 29-year-old boy toy that made it into the paparazzi that he saw. And she said, please don't put these pictures out. It will really affect Anthony Bourdain. And it did, because she knew what it was going to do. Exactly what you were saying. It was the cheating side of it. Everything else, it's like, okay, I thought this was the one, and now this isn't the one. He had everything. He had money. He had eating food for a living. Had his incredible food. Still wasn't worth living.
So it sounds like men need women more than women need men.
It depends on the guy, I would say, first of all. But
maybe it's a delusion that women have.
But I will say there is a genuine need, not a want, a need for women and men both need each other.
Jen, how about this? So here's a way to look at it, right? So throughout our evolutionary history, humans have been very violent. They're much more violent than they are now. So since the Magna Carta, which is the concept of man agreeing with other men to build a civilization and society and have rules, Hammurabi's Code, et cetera, but people, like, it's not kill or be killed anymore. I don't worry about someone stealing my lunch or stealing my car. For the most part, occasionally it does happen, but it's the fringes of society that generally do that. So what happened is, when you go back to times when there was lawlessness and it was the kill or be killed and the strong man survived, you would have situations where you'd have two tribes near each other, and one tribe was sneaky enough to sneak into the other one and kill all the men, all the military-age males. And the women in that tribe had one of two decisions. They either die or they pick a new husband. And so what happened is, the women who had the genetic proclivity to died, and they did not pass on their genes. And the women who had the genetic proclivity to move on to a new man continued to carry their genes. And so that genetic proclivity, that genetic expression to get over a breakup very quickly, even though you saw your husband get killed, that expression is something that carried on. The women who chose to not do that, as noble as they were, to be loyal to their man to the end, they did not pass on their genes. And the women who did pass on their genes. And so because of that, in general, women get over these breakups. I'm not saying they don't cry. I mean, it's horrible.
Also, do you think because of the whole social media thing, or also like the girls' delusion, like, oh, bitch, don't worry about him. You can keep getting other guys. There's other guys and all these other guys, because there's options.
Yeah, that reinforcement.
Exactly.
And there's a lot, I think it's natural. There's a lot of that that goes on with women. We're always like, you could do better than him.
Because they loved your boyfriend before, all of a sudden they hate your boyfriend.
I've noticed that when I put women in a friend zone, they deal with it way better than when men put women in, or when women put men in a friend zone.
Absolutely.
When women put men in a friend zone, and then, like, for instance, this happened with my girlfriend. She had a bunch of, like, she worked at a bar. There was a bunch of dudes there. And when she started dating me, they were always like, wait a second, I was waiting for my turn. What happened? Like, all of a sudden they start professing her love to her. They're like, well, I'm moving to Vegas with my boyfriend. And they're like, no, you can't move. What about my turn? We were going to be together. Like, they started professing men do not deal with being put in the friend zone easily. Whenever I put my female friends who have a crush on me in the friend zone, it's usually like a week or two, and they're just fine with it. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Women do not get that butthurt about being put in the friend zone. Again, because women with their sexual proclivities are just more adaptable than women are. They're more adaptable when it comes to bisexuality. They're more adaptable when it comes to getting over breakups. Women are more adaptable to that, because throughout history, they had to be. And you could also make the case that bisexuality was an adaptation for women as far as survivability was concerned, because you had a harem full of women if you're Genghis Khan, and the women in there have to, like, what is a way for me to survive? That's the thing. It's ugly. Again, we are hairless murder apes. If you don't believe it, if you don't believe it, have a look at this book right here.
That's going to be on our merch. That's going to be on our
hairless
murder apes of
that's what we
access dating.
I actually understand Anthony Bourdain, because people look at him, he's like, you're rich, you're this, you're that, but to him, that's just regular life.
Yeah, he had everything.
He's not waking up every day like, I have more than you.
He had everything except what he wanted.
Right. It's a regular life to him. So he's not thinking, I'm going to leave all this money.
If you have a problem with gratitude, go up to North Vegas and check out what our version of Skid Row, which is up there by back past Chico's Bonitas, back over there on Las Vegas Boulevard.
I was going to say, what's the name of that club again?
That's one place. Number two, just go to Walmart and just walk around if you're having some issue.
Yeah.
Like if you're like, oh man, I can't find anyone today, just go to Walmart.
You have to do that. Here's what you do. When next time you're at the Las Vegas airport and you go from TSA to your gate, just turn off your phone and look at the people.
Just look at the people and just be like, that is what America is.
America.
That is what America looks like.
Oh no, it's crazy. When you travel outside of Vegas and like this world, because I'm from Vegas, Bay Area, San Diego, and then you start looking around, you're like, people are not attractive or fit. I went to
ugly people. Where are the pretty people?
No, I even went to Mardi Gras. I went to Mardi Gras when I got my first boobs done, and I'm like, I'm the only nice boobs. My first boobs.
My first boobs.
All right, so the third thing is I would tell you is go rescue an animal, because the thing about rescuing an animal is if you're the richest man in the world or if you're dirt poor, you rescue an animal, it doesn't make any difference. The experience with the animal is going to be the same. You're still going to care about the animal. It's like there's no amount of money that would give me a better experience than when I rescued my 11th cat, Ellie. There's no experience that's going to be better than that to me. So it doesn't matter how much money. If I had $50 million, it would not make any difference for me to have Kobe, Ellie, and Willie, my 3 cats.
I am on my 9th greyhound right now.
Exactly. So that would be the third thing I would tell you, because that's an experience that the billionaire and the poor person have, is rescuing animals. It's exactly the same for both of them.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yep.